Hello, church, from hot and sunny Malaysia. It is great to be with you. We are reading from Genesis 35, and an important part of the context here is that God has just met with Jacob at Bethel again, and he has affirmed the blessing on his descendants, saying, "Nations and kings will come from you." And this is significant because his beloved wife Rachel is with child. And so you can imagine them as they're traveling, anticipating this birth of this beautiful baby and the promises of God over their descendants. And then we get to verse 16, where Rachel goes into a very difficult childbirth and ends up dying. Now, I'm sure that many of us know what it's like to hope for one thing and another thing entirely happens. Life doesn't always go the way we want it to, and we're left with scars and wounds and griefs, and we wonder why God would allow it, and we question and we wrestle. And I think this story shows us that it's okay to wrestle with God. God renames Jacob Israel, right? And that name Israel means the one who struggles with God. And what's beautiful in this story, I don't know if you notice it when you read, but it's just one small shift between 20 and 21. And it says, "Over her tomb, Jacob set up a pillar." But in 21, it says, "Israel moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder." We see his name change. Jacob buried his wife, but Israel moved on again. Suffering has a way of forming us and shaping us. But no matter what we've been through, it doesn't mean we're stuck. Israel moved on again. The one who wrestles with God continued to move on. And he pitched his tent in a new land, a new territory, because there were chapters of his life that were not yet written. His story wasn't over with the tragedy. And the beauty of the grace of God that we see in this chapter is that it was right before this difficult childbirth that God affirms the blessing on his descendants. God goes to him and says, "There's hope for your future. I know what's going to happen with your descendants, and they're going to own this whole land is going to be theirs." What a grace of God that he would give him that hope to cling to. Even in the midst of this horrible tragedy, our God is gracious even though we suffer. He is with us. He knows what's coming. He knows the future. And when we remember his promises and we remember his nature, and we read stories like this, we are reminded that even though we are people who wrestle with God, that there is a good future for us. And we can move forward and pitch our tent in new territory because we know he knows, and he is with us, and he is for us. God bless you.